What is up, everybody? This is Will Tiller and Timothy Hammond from 10-4 Broadcasting. We are live tonight here in the Virtual Racing Association, and tonight we head to South Boston. Tim, how excited are you to be back with the boys here in the Virtual Racing Association?
Man, I'm telling you, Will, tonight is going to be, last week we had Nashville, different kind of track, more banking, but here it's a kind of a tighter racetrack, not as much room as Nashville. I think we're going to have a heck of a race here tonight. And, short track racing, some rivalry going on. During the week, we got, I was paying attention to Discord, and, some punches were exchanged, and we'll see how tonight goes.
I would say things got a little hot. The tea kettle was sure whistling over the week, whether it's here in the Virtual Racing Association or in the East Coast Modified Tour. But there has been a constant in all of this, Tim, and it has been Caden Tufts winning everything except for the road course. He didn't win at the road course. That was Daniel Rowe's show that week, but did, of course, win in this series last week and won in the East Coast Modified Tour on Sunday night. So he is back to his winning ways, to say the least, and the rest of the fussiness and craziness. Actually, no, Edward Marshall won the race on Sunday. Actually held Caden out of that race, Tim. Yep, big. But as you said, the rivalries are heating up here. Controversies are going left and right here in the modifieds, and that just shows how competitive these drivers are, and they really give it their all. They're all on the track.
And I know the viewers at home can't see the scoreboard yet, but Caden Tufts at the top of the leaderboard by about quite a bit. I mean, almost a full 2/10 over the next car, which just became Campbell Delaney. So the Canadians are at the top of the speed charts here in practice as we wait for them to go qualifying.
I think they might be racing with a little extra aggression here tonight, Tim, knowing that all the Canadian hockey teams are knocked out of the playoffs. So
they're coming
racing with a little bit extra oomph, if
they're
you will.
trying to take away that the American sports, so you come over here and start racing.
That's it. And actually, Mike talked about it on the broadcast on Sunday, as well as Caden does in these races with his restarts and his timing. And people think he might be having little grip hacks here and there, but that's not the case at all, folks. Caden is an actual modified driver in real life, so everything that he does on the track takes it on the simulator and vice versa. Uses the simulator for his real track racing, so definitely comes into these races every week with a lot of track experience, with a lot of experience in these race cars, so really has that timing down when it comes to restarts, when it comes to acceleration, deceleration in the corners. But we're in for it here tonight, Tim. I'm curious to see if anybody can knock him off the top of the table.
Well, and one thing I do want to point out, well, that was just an invisible person that you just hit. That was weird. One thing I do want to say is when Caden Tufts has those great restarts because he is the leader. When you are leading this thing, you have full control over that entire field. You could get to the point where the green flag's going to drop, and you could kind of like press on the brakes and lag everybody else back and just take off. You're the only person in that car that's going to know that's going to happen. And you're going to have a huge advantage over these guys.
Yeah, and you see it every week out of him. It's just on those restarts, he really gets those rocket restarts. He gets going really fast. You see him getting a little sideways there as we're taking a look at just a few warm-up runs here. You really see it out of him. And last week was it was crazy to see that race, how it played out. And then Edward Marshall came away with the win in that race. So really kept Caden out of victory lane. Caden was able to climb back up in the 6th position or 5th position, if I'm not mistaken. And Jeff Clifton, the self-proclaimed king of the modifieds, actually finished quite a few laps down. So in that series, the points has really shaken up here. But shifting to this series on Tuesday night, we were at the halfway point here, Tim. This is halfway through the season, and it's really anybody's season. Even though Caden has won the past 2 weeks here in this series, he's not the points leader in this series.
Yeah, consistency is key. That's all I always say. Consistency will win you championships.
It really will. If he keeps winning, there's not much the rest of the drivers can do.
Yeah, and it looks like we're wrapping up qualifying here. Just trying to double check. We'll
But Tim, as we're getting ready to jump into race action here, for those folks at home that are unfamiliar with South Boston, what makes this short track different from the other short tracks that we go to here in the series?
South Boston, to me, you see these guys during practices. We still have 9 minutes of practice left here tonight, so they just got to. The server started late, so we got a lot of talking to do here, Will. Maybe we'll bring down somebody to interview. But to answer your question, South Boston, as you can see while these guys are going around the track, a lot of them are stepping out. It gets very loose in the center of the corner here and coming off of turn 2 and turn 4. That's what you have to watch out for tonight. And you got to be sure that you're not the guy that's going to the inside, making that dive. And the back end of that car is going to come around and take you and others out in that process. That's going to be the challenge here tonight. And it looks like we have a pretty good field here tonight. Right now, 14 drivers are registered. Still plenty of time for guys to get in here that aren't in the server yet. But, Will, it's going to be an awesome race here tonight.
No doubt, indeed, Tim. And I know Nashville Fairgrounds that we ran last week had wider corners in this and maybe a little bit longer straightaway and backstretch there. So it opened the door for a lot more, I guess you could say, competitive racing. But it looks like tonight this track is a little bit smaller, I'd say. Maybe the corners aren't as wide and you don't have as much area on the front stretch and backstretch to pass.
Oh, 100%. Passing here, it's almost like it's a little bit wider than Martinsville per se, but it's going to be so much harder to pass cleanly. We'll say cleanly, very loosely. We're going to see a lot of contact here tonight with these drivers, and I can guarantee you some tippers are probably going to flare again.
I can only imagine, Tim. Now, looking at this track here, I was trying to gauge here during practice of what the lines are going to be here on the track. I know on Sunday we ran at Lucas Oil, and it was really that middle line the drivers decided to run on that racetrack. And what that did is that you couldn't really pass anybody. And that's what I think what led to a lot of those heated incidences that we had on the track, because people were trying to pass or maybe just trying to get around one another. And you end up clipping a back fender, you end up touching tires, you end up just unfortunate things. And it looks like you said, we might have a few more of those instances here tonight.
Yeah, and these guys are so competitive. I mean, just because it's a sim doesn't mean these guys can't go out there and want to win. As we look here at Jordan Tarble in that 0-2, you saw he was getting really loose. I talked about this just a few minutes ago. These guys, it's all about getting back in the gas as soon as possible. That's the name of the game, and that's what's going to win you this race tonight. Getting back into the gas faster than the guy in front of you and faster than the guy behind you. So, I don't want to curse it, but we're going to place some bets, Will, here. We're going to place bets on how many cautions there's going to be tonight.
Like an over-under bet, Tim? I never bet the over-under, but I'm thinking because it's going to be hard to beat Sunday night's race where we had 14 cautions. And we had a caution about a half a lap in, so it's going to be hard to try to top that number. But I'm saying if we have to have a benchmark, I'm saying at least over-under is about 10. I'd say around that number.
I'm going to go crazy over. I'm going to say 16.
16 cautions?
I'm going 16.
Okay. We have quite the field here tonight. And talking about cautions, I'm going to see if we can't bring in the race admin here tonight, a producer here at 10-4 Broadcast, and see if he can't go over a few of those rules that are going on here tonight and what he thinks about action here tonight. Hey, Mike, this is Tim and Will up here at 10-4 Broadcast. I'm with you. Got a coffee, man?
I got you guys. How's it going?
Hey, man. Back in the booth with us
again. What up, buddy?
Long time no see. Wanted to bring you in the booth real quick because you are the race admin here tonight. You are responsible for the rules and all that good stuff. So if you want to take the folks at home through the rules here tonight and maybe your thoughts on tonight's action.
Oh boy, if I knew you were doing this, I would have had my rule book set up for you guys.
We
Just
came on pretty early.
just bear with me for one quick second.
As we're speaking with Mike Maddox here, he is race control, the race admin, if you will, here in the Virtual Racing Association. Also a producer here at 10-4 Broadcasting. Also a driver in iRacing, Tim. He's going to get ready to race in that money race, that high-octane sim series he's going to have coming up here. He's going to be racing for Extreme Performance there. His team, outside of his broadcasting duties here.
Listen, if all things go the way I planned, I'm going to be making an appearance in that race as well. We'll see. We'll see what we can work out here. Because man, it'd be great to have 10-4 represented in the race, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. We got plenty of guys up in the booth, and that can race the car. So we're just going to throw everybody in there.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I mean, you might not be teammates in the race, but at least y'all can work with each other a little bit.
There you go.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm working on getting a road driver in, which is a teammate of mine. But
There
anyway,
you go.
Hey, you want to talk about real drivers real quick? I'm going to bring in Jerry Nadeau and Bill Lester. That's what I'm going to do.
I'll bring in Dale Jr.
Hey, that's no fair. That's no fair.
Hey, you want to wheel and deal that?
Oh, I can't compete with that.
Far. I was not going that far. Anyway, for tonight, drivers cannot change lanes before the start-finish line. If they do, they will be given a pass-through penalty.
Okay.
Race control also may switch to single-file restarts if there is back-to-back cautions.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Voice chat, I know you guys do not hear that, so that would be if they end up getting out of control, slur words in chat, they will either be given a week suspension or a 3-week suspension.
And we do not see that either as well.
No wrecking on purpose. If race control does deem there is a wreck on purpose, they will be parked for one race.
Wow.
Gotcha.
Let's see.
Speaking with race control here.
Lap cars. If the leader is coming, please respect the leader coming and do not drive in front of them. Drivers, any type of penalties that they receive, they can email the series admins, and then their decision will be final. I do have to jump away for a quick moment, but I will be right back.
Okay.
Of course.
Will, just to kind of talk about some of what Maddox kind of just brought up, you know, it's not about setting all these rules. It's about trying to keep the racing as great as possible. You know, tempers get hot, things happen. Trust me, I've been in plenty of leagues where things can get crazy if tempers get hot, and you know, everybody just wants to have a great time racing. We're all out here having fun. We're having fun up in here in the booth, and we just want, you know, they just want to make sure the guys down on the field are having fun too.
Of course, Tim, and I always feel like Switzerland when I come into the chats because I know we are all, you know, part of the leagues on Discord, and I always have to jump in like in the middle of an argument and be like, "Congratulations to so-and-so, great race, everybody!" Like even though everybody is heated and going at each other, so I always have to kind of take the middle ground and just say it was a great race because it always is. Really, you know, as you mentioned, tempers really sometimes get out of hand or they get heated or things happen on the track that you can't control, and you carry it with you for a little bit and maybe into this week. We'll see here tonight. But what makes it so great is that these guys care, and I think that's what it is. You know, they're passionate about what they do on the simulator. You know, they care about the job they do here on the track, and that really makes for highly competitive, highly exciting races week in, week out.
Yep. As right now, Practice has ended. Qualifying is underway. Michael Newton right now in that number 16 out on the track. Just quite a few guys here to watch tonight. I mean, obviously Caden Tufts, but I'm telling you, TJ is coming in hungry in tonight's race. And I'll say that during practice, he was kind of at the bottom of the leaderboard, but before practice ended, he was up to, I believe, third. So he is coming out here to prove a point here tonight at South Boston.
Yeah, TJ finished second in the race last week here in the Virtual Racing Association. Had a tough go with things on Sunday night. Again, one of those incidences we're talking about, but representing an awesome organization with Mission 22 on that race car. And we can't talk about that organization enough here at 10-4 Broadcasting. Mission 22 is an organization that represents military veterans, suicide, and mental health awareness. So, it's a cause close to me just because mental health, I feel like, should be something that's more spotlighted here in the United States. I mean, it's hard for just us regular folks to find mental health resources and somebody to talk to and all that good stuff. Never mind, the resources that the military veterans can get, but it's still hard for them as well, Tim. So, and they need more help than everybody with the things that they have to go through day in and day out. But they are actually running a charity event here coming up at the end of June, June 30th, and also July 1st. It's brought to you by TJ George Esports. I believe you're going to see maybe a decal on Edward Marshall's car right on the back of that race car. Yep, right on the back of that machine there. If you want more information about that charity event coming up, all proceeds go to Mission 22. So all the winnings, all the buy-ins. So even if you can't race in the event and you want to make a donation, go check them out at TJ George Esports. Or if you want more information about the organization itself, go head over to mission22.com.
And qualifying is over now. Caden Tufts, of course, up top. And we saw there while Will was talking, a couple of the guys lost control. TJ, unfortunately, lost complete control heading down into turn 1 and 2. Doesn't get to go a second lap. And ultimately, it's gonna hurt his starting position here. And that is not what he wants here tonight because I believe they only get one fast repair. Is that correct, Will?
I believe so. Yeah, they only get one fast repair in the series because the races go by so fast that one's really all you're going to get in a shootout like this.
Yeah, so looks like Caden Tufts up top. Nathan Bryant, second place in that number 49. Jacob Torman in the 31. Edward Marshall in the 23 and 4th. And Campbell Delaney rounding out the top 5 in that 09. And Campbell Delaney was really good during practice, so not sure what happened between practice and qualifying. But looking at lap times, Caden Tufts was about 2/10 slower during qualifying than he was during the race. So, or during qualifying, I apologize. And that could be maybe he ran some more laps and the tires got warmed up better and better. So I'm not sure where that fastest lap during race happened for him.
And speaking of Caden Tufts, he has entered the chat, Tim, right as you were mentioning his name there. Let's see if we can get this W. And if Caden does get this W, it's going to be quite the month of May for him because that would be 3 wins in the month of May for Caden, excluding that road course race that was kind of an anomaly with the modifieds here. Daniel Rowe just kind of was the road course ringer in that. But Caden, of course, was coming into that race with a win underneath his belt. You kind of have a gap week there. Won the Sunday-Tuesday race last week. Didn't win on Sunday. A lot of things happened in that race. Was Edward Marshall. Everybody was psyched for him to win. But again, coming into this race here tonight, I mean, he's really still the guy to beat on the track.
Now, before we get started here, Will, I'm going to ask you, who's going to be your pick here tonight to win South Boston?
Oh, don't do that to me, Tim. Every time I do that. I've picked Jacob Torman a few weeks in a row, and he's had unfortunate incidences happen to him. But
yeah,
I think if there's one name without putting the commentator's curse on him that the folks should really watch out for at home, it's Nathan Bryant. And that 49 machine ran really good on Sundays, really ran consistent the past couple weeks as well. Kind of overshadowed by like the likes of Jeff Clifton and Caden Tufts and Kenyon Jones in this series is a name to watch out for as well. But really feel like if Nathan can stay consistent in this race, avoid those cautions, as you were mentioning, those 16 cautions of your guest there. Avoid
I'm
those, and he
sorry.
can really make a run at Caden up at the top. Just really a driver that I feel like has shown the great consistency here the couple weeks.
He's not starting great. Okay. Who I'm about to go with, he's not starting great. Probably, absolutely, he's starting terribly. But I have full faith in him, and I'm going to go tonight. I'm going with Jordan Tarble in that 02 car, starting in 12th place tonight. It's going to be a long race, but I believe it can get done.
Yeah, of course, Jordan Tarble is one of the admins here in the Virtual Racing Association, so definitely a guy who puts in the work on the track and off the track. On the track and off the track, excuse me. So definitely a name to keep an eye out for there, Tim. And what is his starting position here in tonight's event?
He is starting 12th, so that's why I'm scared to pick that, because he's so far back. And I mean, right now, you see these guys are too wide on the starting grid. There's no room for a third car, so
No.
it's going to be scary starting that far back in the field. But I have full faith in him. And Caden Tufts in the chat says Nathan's been putting on the heat to me recently, so for sure watch him. So yeah, you took a good pick there, Will.
Oh no, my picks, it always something unfortunate always happens in my picks. I've been cheering for Jacob Torben the last couple weeks, so maybe he'll pull through here tonight. But I've really been putting that commentator's curse on the drivers, almost like that kicker who hasn't missed in 30-plus kicks. They say that on the broadcast, and they missed the kick. So.
Definitely wasn't Mike Vanderjack, that's for sure. I'm still sour about that.
Gosh.
As we get rolling here.
All the commentators picked the Phoenix Suns to win in 7. Yep, that backfired.
Whoops.
Yep, I want them to go ahead and pick the Warriors to win in 7 as well.
Oh, yes, please. Got a good field here tonight. 15 drivers. It's going to be good race here at South Boston.
Pretty stacked field of drivers here tonight, folks, at South Boston. This is the Admin Boxx 100 here tonight, live on 10-4 Broadcasting. These are the drivers out of the Virtual Racing Association. We run in this series every Tuesday night. Usually we kick off around 8:30, 8:45. But these races, they fly by, Tim. So the folks at home better get ready.
They really do. Pace truck lights are off. These guys are going to get ready to take this green flag. And Caden Tufts is going to be bringing us that green flag, with Nathan Bryant just starting on the outside of him. And remember, there's no passing before they cross the line. So that's going to be another challenge here tonight.
Here we go. They're going down into one, heading to the backstretch. Caden Tufts has just got a little bit of an edge on Nathan Bryant there. Goes to the top side to go ahead and throw that block. Goes back down to the bottom. And here we go, folks. This is about to be the completion of lap number 1 here in the Admin Boxx 100.
Oh, we've got a wreck.
Oh, no. We've got big
Edward
action
Marshall
already.
Oh, but he's still going. Oh, he comes down into somebody. Oh, yellow flag is out.
That's going to be the yellow, folks.
Hey, what'd I tell you? We already won.
Yes, sir. And we got a lap in, though. So didn't break the record of last week of a half a lap, but that's 1 lap in there. And that looks like that's Edward Marshall. Sunday's winner in the East Coast Modified Tour went up into the fence there.
And that's unfortunate for him, because he's hopefully not going to have to use that fast repair, but it did not look good. We're going to go back and take a look at that here real quick. See if we can't. We saw this last week at Nashville. Oh, it looks like 31.
No, of Jacob Torben.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
It doesn't look like too much damage. Oh, he gets hit there at the end by Michael Newton. But I'm telling you, you do not want to be the guy on the outside lane here for this reason, because the guy inside of you, if he breaks loose, it's coming straight for you.
Yeah, but only a lap in there. It doesn't knock Edward out of the race just yet. We saw it last week. Caden Tufts, in this series in particular, came from a lap down. Of course, got the pass around there, so got his lap back the technical way, if you will. but still came from a lap down, because even with getting that lap back, Tim, you have to start at the tail end of the pack. And he worked his way through the rest of the lead lap cars, all the way back up to the lead, and ended up winning that race last week here in the Virtual Racing Association. And in the East Coast Modified Tour last week, he came from 2 laps down and was able to finish in 6th position. So if there's still a lot of hope for these drivers, even if you get caught up in an early incident like that.
Oh, yeah. Lots of time here still left. Oh, the 73 getting in the back of the 9 there. I believe it's probably an accident. But these guys are getting wound up for second attempt here to get this one started. Caden Tufts gets a great start. Number 9, Campbell Delaney. Inside. Oh, gets a little loose there. Like I said, you don't want to be that inside guy because you're going to be pinched. You're going to be stuck down there. Oh!
Oh, no, we got contact behind them.
Everyone stays going, it looks like. Oh, we've got a big break.
No.
Oh, Edward Marshall again.
On that back side, or on the front side there, folks. But we're still racing here in the admin box 100. No caution flag on the track. Looks like just because it was those 2 cars didn't affect the rest of the pack. We were still racing here. That's the 54 of Rashad Coles there.
Yep. And right now, this is what I'm watching, the 31 of Jacob Torman. Oh, he finally gets around him, so everything good there. Him being on the inside, I was afraid he might whip it around again and get into the 22. But, oh, now TJ going to go back to the inside. Oh! Really tight racing here. Oh, and the 31's in the wall. Jacob Torman lost quite a few spots.
Crazy here tonight, Tim.
Oh! It looks like Michael Newton gets around, keeps it going. It's green flag still.
I like it. This is like the real style of modifieds, where you don't throw a caution flag unless it affects the rest of the field. But folks, we're still racing here, but Campbell Delaney has overtaken for 2nd place, trying to close in on Caden Tufts, who's still hitting his marks here at South Boston. There goes Nathan Bryant to the inside, right as we cross that start-finish line here on lap number 14. As Caleb Delaney in that 9 is fighting for that 2nd place position, trying to hold off Nathan Bryant behind him. Right behind him, that is a winner in this series, Tim, with Kenyon Jones, trying to get his race car up into the mix as well.
Yeah, and things have finally, looks like Michael Newton just dove down pit road. Sorry to break away from the action up here, but just trying to keep everybody updated. Yeah, Kenyon Jones looking great in that 73, just kind of pacing himself right now, sitting in 4th place, trying to stay with 2nd and 3rd place. You see the leader is now catching people for a lap down. Now, this is where things could get hairy. Yeah, something could happen where a lap down accidentally spins and could run into the leader, because right now Edward Marshall is trying to not lose another lap here. He's already 1 lap down, about to be number 2.
He's just going to go ahead and get out of the way of Caden there. He knows Caden's there. Going to just try to get out of the way. Yep, he does the right thing there. He's going to go ahead and file right behind Caden there, knowing that Caden has the faster race car, and he's going to go ahead and go a lap down here in tonight's proceedings in the admin box 100. We're on lap 19. As Caden Tuff's going to lead them to the line here.
Whoa!
Oh, no!
Oh, more things. Looks like Cody McLean got into the outside wall. Oh, and you don't want to touch the wall at all here with your tires, because you see it just takes you right up the side of the wall and up and over, really.
Oh, there goes the contact right there out of the corner of the screen there. Just brushed up against the wall just a little bit as we're filtering through the rest of the field here. And Tim, we've mentioned a few times here on these modified broadcasts about how sensitive these race cars really are. You know, you have the engine of a stock car, but you only have 2 gears in it, so fast and faster, I like to say. But you have an open-wheeled concept of like an F1 or an Indy car, so it makes passing extremely difficult. You know, you have to maneuver around a race car with the sensitivity of an open-wheeled F1 or Indy car, but you're going with the speed of a stock car. So you might think you have clearance, you might think you're good to go, or you can kind of wiggle somebody out of the way. But any kind of little contact or tire touch or anything like that, even if it's against the outside wall there, you almost the opportunity to flip your race car by yourself. Or if you're trying to make a pass and you touch tires, I mean, there's really nothing you can do but go for a ride.
And you definitely don't want to be going for a ride here tonight, especially Richard or Edward Marshall can't go for another ride with all that damage he took. But going around the track, see what's going on here real quick from the back to the front. Jordan Tarble, my pick, up to 9th right now. Really hasn't got to gain that many spots due to a really long green flag run right now. Everybody doing a great job holding on to their cars.
This is a really great green flag run here at South Boston. I believe this might be the best opportunity to go side by side for our first commercial break here in the Admin Box 100.
Be sure to Neil Conrad admin crew on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button to get notifications when a new video drops, and check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Enjoy the race.
And we are back here at South Boston Speedway, still under green flag racing. Want to thank Admin Boxx for jumping on board, as well as Weekend Woodsman for this series, the Virtual Racing Association, as we are on a very long green flag run here. Will, I think we are on about almost a 30-lap run here.
Yeah, and folks, if you haven't checked out the Admin Box, it's not getting a lot of use here tonight because we've only had one caution so far in tonight's event, but the Admin Box is similar to what a stream deck is if you are a gamer in the Twitch atmosphere or series, where it's literally, Tammy, it's a plug and play. You plug it right into your computer, you got iRacing, the simulator going on. You can control everything from this deck, so no having to go back and forth if you're a league admin or a race control. You throw all your cautions flags from this device. It's lit up, so you can do it in a dark room. You can see all the buttons. It's rubberized as well. It's easy to use. Go check them out right now if you want more information about Admin Box. That's Admin Box with 2 X's at the end, adminbox.com, or they do also have a Discord page and Facebook group that you can join as well, Tim. And what a cool device it is to have in iRacing.
Yeah, definitely helps, especially if you're an admin in the race. You can just reach over, touch that button, and it's programmed to do what you want it to do. And great innovation from Admin Boxx for sure.
Yes, sir, indeed. But it has so far been the Caden Tufts show here as we're looking at those lap speeds. He is slowing down just a little bit. It looks like Nathan Bryant is running the faster speeds here at South Boston. Just a little bit there, Tim. I'd say just a tenth of a second, if you will, but a tenth of a second at a track like this really equals speed. Ooh, you don't want to touch. Just stay side. There you go.
Yeah, that was a lap down car. Not sure why he was racing a car on the lead lap that hard, but made him lose a little bit of time there.
Oh, Tim, that's nothing like what we had in the High Octane Sim Series on Friday night. We had Bullock winning the entire race until a lapped car saw the leader go by and then decided to come down onto the leader. Oh, we have a car spun out on the track there. We might have another caution
Cody. Let's try to find him. Cody McLean.
Yeah.
Yellow flag.
And there it is. The Admin Box getting some use here tonight, Tim.
And I think he's... I'm trying to figure out if he's going to stay on the lead lap or not. Doesn't look like. We'll see when they come around, but go back and take a look and see what happened here. Oh, clips that wall. And just not able to save it. Single car spin. But the issue is, at this point, he's blocking a line, or one of the racing lines, so they had to throw a caution here. We're going to ride on board. Comes off, just comes way too far to that wall. And he almost saves it. He does a great job, but unfortunately nothing he could do once he hit that inside wall, Will.
No, we've talked about it a few times here, Tim. You know, you barely brush that wall with the tires. You're going to go for a ride, whether you flip over. It's like getting super, it's almost like hitting the apron, if you will, if you touch that top side with those tires. And, you know, with a stock car, you can kind of brush it a little bit. You can bounce off of it. You know, you can do your thing. With these type of race cars, you can run as close as you can to the wall, but the minute you make contact, that wheel is going to jerk right out of your hands.
And what a, you know, if he was on a skateboard, he might have gotten a maybe a 6 out of 10 there for that wall ride. But then he ultimately get a 0 for the finishing act.
A little bit of old school Mike Valley action there.
Yeah. But unfortunately, it looks like he is being scored a lap down. At that point.
That's unfortunate for him there, Tim. But as we were about to hit the halfway mark here in the Admin Boxx 100, no one's really had anything for Caden yet there at the top.
No, not yet. But I almost broke out the Phil Collins and started singing that I can feel it coming in the air tonight. But I won't murder anyone's ears, so we'll refrain from that. But I can feel it coming. Nathan Bryant was running pretty solid lap times there during that long green flag run. So if he can just stay with Caden Tufts, we could have a real big battle here on our hands.
Yeah, with 14 drivers in tonight's proceedings, it's really, this competition here in the Virtual Racing Association builds every week in and week out here, Tim. We're only on race number 5 in this series, and as we've come along board here, this is our 3rd race here in this organization, and it's just grown by the day, and we are super excited to be here bringing you this live action of the Virtual Racing Association, and we are proud of these drivers for joining it. But here we go. There's Caden Tufts taking that green flag to start things off once again here at the halfway point of the Admin Boxx 100. Nathan Bryant's going to try to follow right behind him. You see some battles going on for 3rd place right behind Nathan.
Take a look back at that really quick. Big gaggle of cars here, side by side. Jones is going to go to the inside. Doesn't clear the 9. Not able to clear. Oh, the 9 is around. Oh, he saves it.
Good save there.
Everybody checks up. No harm, no foul.
Oh, and there's the caution flag, Tim.
Trying to see what it was for. There was another incident. I don't believe there was.
That may have been it there, Tim. As you were talking about the last caution, you can't impede that racing line on the track, and you saw it at a Campbell there. He did get sideways and impede that middle line, but what an excellent job of saving that race car and saving the other cars on the track.
We'll go back and take a look at that real quick. Give it a nice little slow-mo. Battling here with Jones on the outside, and he just real close to each other, but the 9 just gets in too hot on that outside lane. You see that wheel working on the inside of the car of Delaney. Wait, does he touch the wall? He does, but I don't care. That was still sweet to watch. Great job by him, and great job by the other drivers, not just running him over, giving him space, letting it off. That's how you do this situation right here, this give and take. You just don't go balls to the wall when somebody's starting to spin.
Oh my gosh, that looks like me door dashing at 3 o'clock in the morning right there, whipping around those corners around Vero Beach here. Now, saving that race car on the corner, I can only imagine the wheel work on that simulator there between the pedals and the steering wheel of having to keep that thing level and getting back up on the gas to make sure nobody else collects you in that accident. Man, what a skillful way of not only saving his race car, but saving the rest of the cars on the track.
Yeah, you see these guys are getting put back together. Delaney all the way back to 12th place now for this restart. Not good for him. Jordan Tarble, my pick for tonight. So far, biggest mover, up 6 spots since the drop of the green flag, sitting back there in 6th in that bright yellow 02.
But Tim, a driver who has literally been putting in the work week in and week out, a very busy schedule out of that stable for TJ George Esports. They have 2 or 3 drivers that are racing in separate events tonight alone, not counting what's going on the rest of the week, and that's TJ Allen. TJ has climbed up into that 4th position after you mentioned he had spun out during qualifying, had to start at the tail end of the pack. He is up to 4th already here, Tim, and that's a driver that is itching to get that win.
Yeah, and you know, man, I believe all these drivers are itching to get that win. And the green flag is underway. Gets a great start on that inside lane, and now Nathan's able to drop down behind him as we watch these guys touching back and forth. Things get a little wild. Whoa, and there it is.
Oh, no!
Tarble makes it by.
Oh, no, and collects TJ Allen in that. Oh, I just put the commentator's curse on him, Tim.
You really did. And unfortunately, for some reason, he towed himself to the pits.
TJ is not going to be happy about that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was out of frustration or what, but he went straight to the pits.
Oh, man.
And I believe he officially retired.
If we could rev up that 10-4 broadcast
Yeah.
for you and see what happened to TJ there,
So,
right as I was talking about the work he was putting in. And that's the 13 Adam Keeler.
I don't put any blame on the 13. I'm gonna walk you through this, and I'm gonna tell you why right here. I'm gonna slow it down for you. He gets into the back of the 73, has to check up, and the 13 doesn't realize that and gets into the back of the 66. And then who is behind Peeler? Tarble gets into the back of the 13 a little bit, shoves him even further into the 22. Nowhere for anyone to go. The 48 gets collected in this. So just unfortunate that it happened this way, but there's nothing anybody could have done differently.
I could see where it's the extra contact from the 13 after the initial contact that
Right.
TJ might be a little upset with, because it looks like the 13 made contact, knew he was there, and then kept pushing through instead of letting off or trying to get out of the way of TJ. As you look here, you know, you mentioned that, you know, TJ makes contact with the 73 there, but if you look at the 13 behind him, he makes initial contact and then pushes through instead of going low to try to avoid TJ. So,
well, actually, give me 1 second. I'm gonna go back. I want to listen to the engine sound because that'll tell me everything. That'll tell me his throttle control.
So he makes contact right after he makes contact with the 73, bumps into the back, and then pushes through.
Oh, but see the 2, I believe, of Jordan Tarble pushes the 13. Yeah, right there. So the 13 that kept getting extra pushes, because there's his initial contact, gets pushed again right there. Yeah. That's difficult. It really is. See, it's such tight racing here, and I can understand, like you said, I can understand the frustration too. You know, you come out here, you do about 60 laps, and then ultimately your race is over. And don't look now, but my boy Jordan Tarble sitting in 4th.
There we go. Kenyon Jones, Jordan Tarble is up there. Jacob Torman in that 31's up there as well. As we got less than 26 laps to go here, folks, in the admin box 100, and the green flag is in the air. You see Caden Tufts still leading the way here. Another rocket restart out of him. You see Nathan Bryant's in 2nd place. Kenyon Jones is up there in 3rd. Jordan Tarble's in 4th. Is that Coletta is up there. Jacob Torman as well.
Big.
Is right in that 5th position. Jacob Torman's in 6th.
This is where things get hairy. When Harry met Sally.
I was thinking more of Sully from Monsters Inc. type of Harry, but we'll check it out here on the corner.
Oh, and he turns him! Oh, he saves it! Still going green.
Oh, watch out!
Woo,
almost made contact with that pit road wall there. That definitely would not have felt good in that race car.
I bet he wouldn't have felt a thing.
Climb back through the field. Taking a look here.
Big. He is on the back bumper of Caden Tufts.
He is right there. If we could ride along board with Nathan there, get the folks at home that first-person point of view. There we go. Maybe if we could throw up that speedometer down the corner, too, to see what kind of speeds they're hitting here tonight. Just to see. As you said, he is right on the back bumper there. Let's see. We like to do this here at 10-4 Broadcast. Let's check out that acceleration, deceleration. So here's the first corner. We'll check it out here on the straightaway. See what he gets up to. At 113. Drops it down. Man, drops it down to about 78, 79. Then we'll go down into 3 and 4.
Caution.
Watch. Oh, we do have a caution on the track here, folks, as we were riding on board with Nathan Bryant. We have a car up into the fence.
Somebody, the 48 of Austin. Go back and take a look and see what happened here. We'll do a nice slow-mo. He's already up in the fence coming down the backstretch. Going through the turn, he's completely sideways.
Cololetta? I'm going to say Cololetta on that. Very, very Italian last name there. But we'll check it out here, see what happens with that 48 machine.
Still riding that outside lane. You still see he's still struggling to save it from, and there, now he's, the 31 just came up into him and shoved him right in the wall.
The 31. The 31 came down just a little bit in front of that 48, as you mentioned. Watch out, folks. Watch out, folks. Right on that fence.
Oh, that lady just lost her kneecaps. Man. We'll go back and take a ride on board for that one. That one looks like it could be fun.
Take a look here with the 48.
Oh, I'm
as
on the wrong.
Tim mentioned, he goes a little bit to the high side there. As we're taking a look here, getting that 10-4 broadcast and replay revved up for you here. Taking a ride on board with the 48. And you see the 31 of Jacob Torman there. Right to the outside.
Torman didn't touch him. Yeah.
It was an oversteer. Oh, man.
Yeah, Torman wasn't even close.
That's one of the things that they taught. I actually went to driving school, Tim, right after I got my license, and it was a driving school that they did at the racetrack in Charlotte. And one of the exercises was that they would pull the e-brake on you, and you had to make sure that you steered the right way, because if you did get in an accident or something like that, they wanted to teach you how to not oversteer in situations, because that'll cause your car to flip. And you saw it right there in that situation where he saw the 31 of Jacob Torman coming up near him. Didn't want to make contact, so he kind of moved that wheel just a little bit, but just jerked it just too much, and it got loose up into the wall. So we thought on the initial replay it was contact between the 31 and him. It just looks like it was just a little bit of oversteer there in the cockpit.
Yeah, and he did everything he could to save that, and ultimately was not able to, as we're stacked up here on this restart.
Big stack.
Caden Tufts trying to make it difficult for these guys to stay with him. Oh, but Nathan gets a great start here.
Oh, big block out of Caden there, heading down into the corner. Throws that big block on the 49 of Nathan Bryant. I'm telling you, Caden is the king of restarts, just like Jeff Clifton is the self-proclaimed king of the modifiers. I'm going to go ahead and give Caden that crown, if you will, of those restarts. I've never seen somebody jump out so fast on these restarts, and it's going to be that on-track experience.
No! Oh!
There goes the 31 of Jacob Torman, high flying in the air.
Torman just went to outer space with SpaceX.
Oh, gosh. He just said, hey, what's up to Elon Musk, and went for a ride there, folks. Oh, my goodness. gosh, we'll have to rev up that 10-4 broadcast
Oh,
replay
yeah.
for you to
Oh,
see
yeah, I'm
what
trying
caused
to-
him to go to take flight.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I really do. We're doing a
I
slow
wonder
mo
if he got
here.
some snacks on his plane ride there.
So Jordan gets into the outside wall, gets himself collected, all collected up here. But then the
Here's
23
Edward
gets to the
Marshall.
back of him, and coming down through turns 1 and 2, 31's going to go to the inside here, and these two are going to touch on the exit of turn 2. The suspense is killing me. Right here, the 2 gets sideways coming off of the turn, comes down into the 31. They collect each other, and then they're going to hit this inside wall, take it back out, and then he's going to get launched. Woo!
Oh, gosh.
And he's gone.
Into
Poof.
outer space there, Tim. Oh, my goodness.
So
Jacob
that's
Torm definitely went for a ride there.
riding on board with Jordan Tarble. Oh, man. And it totally blew the engine, sounds like. I don't hear any engine noise. It's unfortunate.
That was your dark horse pick here, or not dark horse, your actual race pick here tonight, Tim.
That
And
was
I
my
think
race pick.
My race pick, fingers crossed, is still in the proceedings here tonight, guys, but it has been quite the show here tonight, and I believe one of our sponsors puts on a show out in the wilderness, if you will, and we'll jump to commercial real quick right before we go to green to give you these last couple laps here in the 100.
Be sure to check out Tim Mayo Conrad and the Weekend Woodsman crew on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button to get notifications when a new video drops, and check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Enjoy the race.
Here we go, folks. This green flag is about to drop here in the last few laps of the Admin Box 100. This is live on 10-4 broadcasting. And here we go. There goes Caden on that big restart. It's going to go ahead and throw that block on Nathan to start things off here. Throws that block heading down into 1. You got a battle for third, ensuing right behind him. And they had contact. They got contact right in third place there, Tim. Oh, my goodness. And you see the 13 got caught up there. See, a few cars got caught up as they were exiting turn 2 onto the backstretch.
We're going to go back to that green flag start. We're going to go with Kenya Jones.
In the words of Chris Farley, oh my God.
Oh, Jones gets into the 9, and then
Oh,
just
no.
chaos ensues.
And that's a winner here in the Virtual Racing Association. Kenyon Jones gets caught up in that. Oh, and Kenyon was racing really well here tonight, Tim. I almost thought he had a shot at the race victory, making a move on Caden there towards the end. We'll watch here what happens. See the 13 of Peelers up there. See what happens here. Oh, maybe it was just a car getting loose on the exit of the corner there, Tim.
Man.
We'll have to take another look at it to see if maybe the 13 just got a little loose on exit of the corner. Check it out here. They're stacked up just a little bit there. We're taking an onboard ride with the 13 Adam Peeler. And you see what happens. No, there was contact in front of him. Looks like there was contact with Campbell Delaney up there.
And he blew his engine. Man.
And the rest of the field had to check up. Man, I didn't know that South Boston was such a difficult track here tonight, Tim, but it looks like,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of these accidents, it's not contact with other drivers, with the exception of maybe TJ Allen's accident there, but really what's the root of all of these accidents you see here on the track is drivers just getting loose by themselves, and because this track is so tight, there's nowhere for the rest of the field to go.
Yeah, and these drivers are coming down to the wire. Totally wrong. I said 16 cautions. We're only on 7, and we got 12 laps to go. So, I lost.
My over-under is 10, so I think I need to go back to jump over to my bookie and play some more bets. But Here we go. Caden Tufts is leading the way here, Tim. And maybe if we could give the folks at home a special point of view on Caden on this restart to see how he's able to get such a jump on these restarts. We'll see the lights are off of that pace truck here as they pull off. And you see Caden on that restart. It's going to get that huge jump that we've been talking about. And once he gets that jump, he throws that block immediately, knowing that that second place car is coming. Throws that block just like a veteran modified racer will. It's holding off Nathan Bryant in second position. The winner of the East Coast Modified Tour, Edward Marshall, is in third right behind them. He's trying to dig into those corners. Big run out of 3 into 4 there, or 1 and 2 there. Headed down into 3 and 4. Caden Tufts is still leading the way. Nathan Bryant's right on that back bumper. You saw Caden get a little loose on exit there, Tim.
Yeah, and they're going to need Caden to make a mistake if they're going to want to beat him here tonight. So I just keep checking up on these other drivers. Many things going on the track.
A lot of things have happened in tonight's event, Tim. You see Caden Tufts still leading the way here. And a few of these drivers that you see at the bottom of their grid have been caught up in unfortunate incidences. I'll run through it real quick for the folks. Caleb Delaney was mixed up. Kenyon Jones was again mixed up. Adam Peeler, we've seen him in a few incidences. Jacob Tormans had a rough night as well. TJ Allen went ahead and retired that race car. Hopefully he still races with these series here. I know he's had a frustrating few last couple weeks, but it's awesome to see him representing that Mission 22 paint scheme in these races. You know, but unfortunately, you know, these short tracks, they don't give way to people getting loose, and it can get, you know, you can get collected in a night that you think you have the fastest car on the track, but it's racing at these small tracks here, ladies and gentlemen, as we're going to go around 3 and 4 here. We're going to cross that line in just a second with 3 laps to go. Throw those 3s up and rest in peace to Dale Earnhardt, because we got 3 laps to go here in the admin box 100.
Man, and Caden Tufts makes this look easy.
It is definitely not easy there, Tim, as Nathan Bryant's right there, as well as Edward Marshall in the 3rd position. But Caden's looking like he's going to go ahead and cruise to that white flag here. He's going around 1 and 2 right now, folks. Heading down into the backstretch. No mistake yet out of Caden Tufts. Still leading the way here on the final lap. Heading around 3 and 4. Caden Tufts looks like he is the winner here at South Boston, with Nathan Bryant finishing in 2nd, and Edward Marshall is your top 3. You got Keaton in the 4th position, and Jordan Tarbell worked his way back up there to finish in the top 5. What an event it has been here tonight from South Boston, here live on 10-4 Broadcasting, and it was the Caden Tufts show here tonight. There was nothing tough about the way he raced here tonight. He went wire to wire here at South Boston, Tim.
Man, what a great job by Caden Tufts. He's just unstoppable. I mean, I don't know who can dethrone him on one of these nights here on a Tuesday night at the VRA League.
And Tim, you know, I'm a little unfamiliar with how iRacing, you know, points work, or skill points, or maybe it's the iRacing rating, if you will. What does this do for Caden when he wins multiple series races or wins week in, week out? What does that do to his iRating? Does that put him in like the upper echelon of modified drivers?
It doesn't do anything when it's in a league.
Gotcha.
It's only on official iRacing ranked servers does anything like that help him.
But he is definitely
all this
burning
is
it
just
down
fun
here, Tim.
Man.
Like I said, he probably uses this as experience in his real race car with timing and corners, and I'm sure some of these tracks are tracks that he goes to in the modified races that he runs. And, you know, with all the other craziness that happens behind Caden and the other cars getting loose and crashing, and, you know, you have rivalries on the track, heated moments between other drivers, the coolest and most zen driver on the track is Caden Tufts, and it's because he's always in clean, open air up at the front. You know, think about it as like if you were living, as he's living in Canada, the air up there is nice and clear and crisp and clean. You come down here to America and it's definitely not that, you know. So maybe it's just because of the clean air that he's living up there in Canada. It just makes way for him to race that way here tonight, Tim, or week in, week out. But we see it, Tim. It's every race we call, he gets out to the lead. He never gives it up.
Yep. He does a really great job, especially on those restarts. That's really his bread and butter right there.
Yeah, definitely, Tim. And I think it's because the move, you know, it might not be the speed on the jump per se once he grabs that green flag. It's that move he makes when he swings that race car to the outside and immediately kills the momentum of the second place car. Because once he does that, it gives him that opportunity to get up to speed on that backstretch, on that first run there on the green flag. And once he starts building up momentum, the second place car doesn't have any momentum now because he's blocked from Caden. And that really opens the door to Caden to get those wheels pretty hot there and then lead on those green flag runs.
Yeah, it does. He just does such a great job. As I think our third place finisher, Edward Marshall, may be ready.
Yes, sir. But before we jump to those interviews, folks, we do want to hear from those sponsors one more time, and we'll be right back to give you those interviews with the top 3 drivers at tonight's Admin Box 100.
Be sure to check out Tim Mayo Conrad and the Weekend Woodsman crew on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button to get notifications when a new video drops, and check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Enjoy the race.
All right, everybody, we are back here at South Boston Speedway, and I believe Will is with our third place finisher, Edward Marshall.
Yes, sir. Hey, Edward, you are the winner of Sunday's race at the East Coast Modified Tour. Come home third here tonight. What a run it was. We didn't have as many cautions here tonight as we had on Sunday. The racing was a little bit more, I'd say, clean and a little bit more competitive. Take us through your point of view of tonight's race and what led you to finish on the podium.
Yeah, I got walled early on in the race, and that's all good. We're gonna bounce back, head to next Sunday, and looking for a top 3 finish as well. Hopefully, take home the W. There's I ran up my tires early on because I had to use a set of tires like on lap 3. That didn't help me at all, but I think that was the difference maker going into the final laps. If I had good tires, I would have put it on Caden and Nathan.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that early incident that you got in here, and I mentioned during the broadcast, you know, tonight it wasn't a lot of drivers getting into one another per se or getting walled, like you said. I think some of the root of these problems here tonight at South Boston was drivers getting loose by themselves, and because this track is just so tight, you know, it doesn't give any room for drivers to avoid other drivers. But as you mentioned, you were able to climb back up into the third position, and man, that just kind of shows off your skillfulness here in the modifieds.
Yeah, going from 2 laps down to finishing top 3, finishing on the podium is a big feat. Can't thank y'all enough. Can't thank my sponsors, Rad Designs and Mission 22 for coming on board for the remainder of the month, and look forward to Sunday.
Yes, sir. I believe on Sunday we are heading to, that's the East Coast Modified Tour. Let me check that out real quick, because I know this is only race number 5 here in the Virtual Racing Association. But on Sunday we will see you at New Hampshire Speedway. So basically you could just spend the rest of the week here up in the Northeast. After racing here in South Boston, you'll head to New Hampshire next week. But in this series, we head to... Next week, we are heading to, let me see here, check the schedule here in the VRA. We're heading to Southern National. You just said you want to put that race car into victory lane, maybe Sunday or Tuesday. How confident are you heading into the next weekend, and you think you can get another victory there?
Yeah, Nashville's a good track. New Hampshire's a good track. I think I got a good car, good crew, good sponsors. There isn't anything that it is holding me back except other drivers. So I'm gonna fix that issue. So
I like it. I like that style of racing, that Dale Earnhardt style, that Kyle Busch style of racing there, where you're just out there for yourself. I love it, man. And before we let you go, you did shout out your sponsors there. Do you stream at all, or is there anywhere that anybody can find any information about you and your racing here in iRacing? And maybe we'll give you that opportunity to shout that out.
I streamed a little bit on Twitch, but to be honest, trying to deal with the stream and then trying to focus on racing is a little bit too much. So putting up with the people on the chat room and them talking crazy, and then me trying to focus on the race ended up being more than what it was worth.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. You have to keep an eye out on both here. And before we let you go, Edward, I know you mentioned one of your sponsors there, Mission 22. If you want to tell the folks at home what that organization is and where they can find out more about racing and maybe the charity event or how they can donate to that organization.
Hey, baby. Yeah, Mission 22 is a nonprofit organization helping veterans across the United States. They do a bunch of different events dealing with veterans families and the communities that these veterans are in. It's a really great organization, and anyone watching or listening might catch us at a later date should go over to mission22.com and check out what they're about. Donate if you see it fit, and besides that, God bless, and I'll see y'all next Sunday.
Yes, sir. You have a great night. Say out a little one for us. It might be the next new iRacer there, getting ready to get on the wheel themselves.
He's got a couple months. He's only 18 months old, so maybe when he's 2, I'll let him wheel it around a little bit.
That's it. That's it. Alrighty, Edward. We'll let you go, man. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you on Sunday.
Thank you. Y'all do as well.
Yes, sir. That was Edward Marshall finishing in the 3rd position, Tim, and he's having a great week in the modifieds. He wins on Sunday and then a top 3 here tonight. Really putting in the work, and as he mentioned, he was 2 laps down here in tonight's proceedings.
It's such a great job by him. He, like he said, he had that early situation, but able to turn it around and recover. Fantastic job from Marshall to bring it home P3 here tonight at South Boston.
Yes, what a great run it was. But I believe you are on pit road with our 2nd place finisher, who was my pick of the night here. Still isn't able to pull through just yet. And I'll bring him up onto the radio for you there, Tim. And we are joined now by Nathan Bryant, and take it away.
Man, Nathan Bryant, Tim here up in the booth. There was a couple of times I really thought you were going to put the bumper to him. Was there a point that you wanted to?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I wish we would have finished the race maybe with a little more than 10 laps to go, because it seemed like in the long run I was beating him. I was a little more consistent. But at the end of the day, I'm happy with the 2nd. Always okay with finishing behind Caden. He's a really good driver. I mean, it's really not my style to move people out of the way, but I mean, this track is brutal. You really can't do anything unless you do put a bumper to him.
You did such a great job there, and like you said, I was kind of hoping to stay green line. We had that one long green flag run. I think it was about 35 or so laps, maybe 40 laps, and you had distance between him, but you were starting to reel him back in. And even in that last 12 laps after that last caution, you were still, I think he was about a 0.7 away from you. You had brought it back down to about 0.4 before that checkered flag. So you were finding some speed somewhere that he wasn't getting. And kudos to you for that. And hopefully that can help you heading into next week to be able to pull it off.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I finished behind Caden way too way too often. So I mean, it's bound to happen soon enough that you guys talked to me last. But yeah, I think I don't know what would have happened if we stayed green a little bit longer there at the end, but um, it for some reason it seemed long run. Maybe I was more consistent, or maybe his tires were falling off. I'm not sure, but definitely definitely wish things would have turned out a little different. I could have been right on his bumper at the end.
Well, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, all my sponsors I got Biden Scaffold, Thermal Foams, Haynes Supply, Double Clutch, McConey Setup Shop, Skyworks, Don's Welding, Buffalo Concrete, Don Adamzak for the good paint scheme, my girlfriend and any family, and obviously shout out to Caden for running a good race there, and thank you to you guys for putting this on.
Now, before you go, next week we're heading to Southern National Motorsports Park. How can you prepare for that race after finishing here second place at South Boston?
Well, how I can prepare is just figuring out how the hell to get behind Caden and just move him out of the damn way. But I would say that South Boston, or whatever track you just said, is sort of just like
Yeah.
this. I mean, I quite honestly don't go on the sim unless I got a league race. So my practice is before the race actually starts. So I'm thinking that track might be a little bit harder for some drivers just because I feel like the banking makes the cars a little looser.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I love the short track racing. Definitely puts the good drivers where they should be, and I mean the cautions suck, but other than that, it's fun racing, and hopefully next week I'll be talking to you guys when I win.
Well, and to give you perspective, you were talking about the turns. The banking at Southern National is 17 degrees, while here at South Boston, 10 degrees. So, like you said, it's going to make these guys a little looser. It's going to be interesting. Both 4/10 of a mile. So, good luck next week. Congratulations again on second place, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you again next week.
All right, sounds good. Thank you guys.
Man, Will, I really thought, as a driver, you start behind the guy that wins the race and you finish behind the guy that wins the race. It's so hard to be able to get in front of a guy like Tufts, because week in and week out, he hits his marks. He doesn't make mistakes, and if he does, they're so small that you can't even capitalize on them, really.
No, and even last week where he went multiple laps down, got caught up in a few instances, he was still able to climb up into the field, or Sunday, excuse me, and finish in the 6th position. So even if you knock him down, he's almost like Tyson Fury in boxing. You can knock him down a few times. You can even think you got him knocked out. And he's going to rise right back up. And, on Sunday, he almost got a top 5 position after being multiple laps down. And tonight, you saw what happens if he starts on the pole position. It's really unstoppable to try to catch him. But let's see if we can bring in the unstoppable man, the Iron Man of the modifieds here. And that's Caden Tufts and that 88 machine. I think, Caden, you were running with a little bit of extra motivation here as the Maple Leafs were eliminated last night or 2 nights ago. And, man, we are getting used to talking to you up here in the booth. Not really much more questions we can ask you. You come into these races every week, and you show the experience. You show the track time. You show the practice that you put in, week out. Take us through what led to you winning wire to wire here tonight and what you thought about tonight's action.
Tonight was definitely a very fun race. I think we went 60 laps green there at one point, and then it just started becoming a little bit of a caution fest. But I mean, that's what's going to happen in a later race or later point in the race. But mostly, the goal was usually, like I say, every week, come in here with a lot of practice. Well, not a lot, just usually this race here, and then maybe a little bit of testing or something, and basically go off the info I gathered up from the past, and maybe a little bit of real life info. But that what could help.
Yeah, and these races, whether it's in the East Coast Modified Tour or the VRA, they seem to not rub people the right way, if you will. There's a lot of tensions, a lot of heatedness going on between drivers, and some drivers are pulling out of the leagues or they're getting frustrated with these leagues. Do you read any of that? Does any of that get to you as the winner each week? And how do you feel about their opinions on these races?
I mean, it doesn't really bother me as long as it's not involving me. I'm fine with it. I mean, so so that's really all I really think about that. I mean, it's gonna happen. It's part of it. But I mean, maybe there's some points where it goes to a certain extent. It's a little too much. But I mean, I understand some moves that some people make because they can't really handle the wrecking every week. And I mean, it's gonna happen though. I mean, it's what happens when you have a competitive field.
Yeah, and we had 14 drivers here tonight. Me and Tim, when we started this broadcast off, we talked about how tight this track was, and if you try to go three wide at all, you can't. And we saw here tonight that a lot of the root of caution flags came from guys just getting loose by themselves, coming out of the corners too hot or coming into the corners too hot. And, you make contact, brave contact with you. And one of the things I wanted to ask you as we came on the air here, we're talking about what makes you so good in this iRacing simulator. And I was kind of speaking about the transition between the simulator and real life racing. Do you sort of use your real life racing in the simulator or vice versa, using the simulator practice for your real life racing?
Yeah, actually the legend car we got this year, we're gonna try that out. The sim, I know that I've heard it's not exactly on point, but it's pretty dang close from what they gathered up on the scan info. So we're gonna use that a little bit for real life experience, but also it does come right to hand from dirt racing. I mean, you help get better at saving cars when you get loose in real life, and I mean, it's definitely a huge help.
Yeah, we're just trying to figure out what's led to you winning so many times here in both the series we call. This is 3 wins and 3 starts for you here. You got the turkey in bowling, if you will. What do you think's going to lead to you making it 4 in a row next week at Southern National?
Southern National is actually one of my better tracks.
Uh-oh.
It,
Uh-oh.
it's probably one of the most identical tracks to one of my best tracks in real life actually. So that's a huge help. Um, Huge banking, which is almost like the same as my local track, almost the same distance and all that. Um, so yeah, more consistency, good positioning, always being there at the right time, making smart decisions, and just having patience.
Now, me and Tim were talking about too. I think one of your biggest strengths here on the racetrack, whether it's a track like this or even like Lucas Oil that you didn't really race your best race at on Sunday, your best opportunities, I think Tim would agree on this, is on those restarts. And what I noticed on that restart is that you get a big jump, but so does the car next to you. But I think it's this move where you kind of swing that back bumper in front of the second place car and you kind of kill the momentum of the second place car. Is that sort of correct, like what you do there on those restarts, or is it just sort of you just instinctively make that move to go to the outside?
Usually I try getting a good restart and clearing the second place car to get a perfect corner through there. Especially this track where it's a flatter type track. I know there's a little bit of banking, which it could be a lot when you're actually in the car, but I mean, it does make the world difference. I mean, when you're on the bottom there, you have to slow down earlier so you don't completely miss a corner. So that's usually why I like to swerve up a little. When I'm clear, I always make sure I'm clear. I don't want to end up hooking someone in the wall. I made that mistake before, and I definitely learned from it. So that's usually what I try to do. Just trying to get that perfect corner on that restart just to get the slightest difference on time.
Yeah, gosh, it definitely does work in your favor. And what I think it kind of does too is when you do make that move and you do it so clean too that the second place driver can't really complain or say anything bad about it, it really kills the momentum of that second place car that they might have on their restart. But that enables you to do is get those tires warm and then you start taking off. So I think it's just this strategy, this move that you're able to pull off there, and it's so clean, it's so smooth that we don't see it at any of the other modified drivers or even in the other stock car series that we call here. I think you're the king of the restarts there, like Jeff Clifton is the king of the modifieds.
I mean, there's a lot of leagues I run. I wouldn't necessarily call me the king of restarts. I make lots of mistakes on restarts. Just it's hard to notice them, especially when it's on leader. I think the last restart I made one. A couple of these restarts I actually made a lot of mistakes, such as hitting the apron, getting a little bit tire spin, or just completely missing the corner because I wasn't able to get a line. So I wouldn't necessarily call me the king of the restarts. So once when I get those fully down pat with no mistakes, I think I can take that name.
That's it. And I'll throw it over to Tim. I believe he has a question for you here before we let you go.
I believe there was a bounty on your head this week. So I think that means the bounty carries over to next week. I don't remember who placed that bounty, but man, Caden, is there any? I mean, do you ever get nervous? I mean, it just seems like you're able to come out here, lay down these lap times, dominate, and your cage doesn't get rattled.
No, not really. I don't really get nervous in the sim. I only really get nervous in real life when you can actually get injured if something happens, or if someone is right hot on your bumper. I've been in that situation multiple times. Speaking of the last race, we got wrecked in the semi because of a reason like that. Moved on and then fixed the car up and ended up winning the feature.
Nice.
Which was a great feeling after being completely wrecked. But I mean, I find it doesn't really give me any shivers or anything in the sim. It's more just real life that gives me them.
Okay, so what Caden's telling me, Will, is I need to go racing in real life, so that way I don't get nervous in iRacing. Got it. Perfect. That's all I needed to know.
I love it. That's one way to look at it, I suppose.
Yeah, there is certain times though when you get a little nervous on the sim. Like, there was one race I was going for a pot on the money, and then it was definitely a close field.
Yeah, those definitely get antsy.
Yeah, it was with a lot of professional drivers. I was hanging on the top 5. I mean, top 5 doesn't seem like much, but when you got a lot of money on the line, it definitely gets you going.
I do have to say that short story time. I was in a money race with Kyle Busch, and I accidentally took him out on lap 1. Was not intentional. 100% promise that. We were at Charlotte Motor Speedway, went into turn 1, and for some reason I didn't turn. I just kind of went into Kyle Busch and took him out. So, whoops.
You'll be all right.
That's reason number. I don't know why I don't run NASCAR.
I'd be doing it on purpose.
We were talking about that, Cade, and I was asking the question about the iRating points and all those things, and Tim said, racing in these leagues is kind of just a fun aspect of it. Do you do any kind of, for lack of a better term, ranked racing in these modifieds, or do you just do this modified racing for fun?
I used to do a lot of ranked racing. I mean, that used to be my thing when I was on that setup shop. We had a goal of getting a certain amount of races in. Then real life racing got in the way, so I had to step away from that. And then now I'm mostly just into leagues. Officials are getting kind of annoying when you're being wrecked by rookies, I guess you can call them, 24/7 that just think it's like a NASCAR heat game when you're actually trying to get experience over the real wheel. But
Yes.
I mean, leagues are a lot better. It's a way better feeling too when you win.
Yeah, I gotcha. And you do plenty of that in both leagues that we call here. We only have about 3 races left in the East Coast Modified Tour. I know the points are going to be a little different in that series, seeing as though Jeff finished, let's say, 40 or 50 laps down in that one, and you finished in the 6th position. So we'll wait and see the point standings there. But at midway point through in this series, and you have 3 wins and 3 starts, how are you feeling about the points championship in this series going forward?
I don't really know how I feel. We just got to keep on moving, I guess, and hope for the best. Maybe pull off a couple more wins, and just good finishes. That'll probably give us a great position in the points.
Yeah, man, and you'll have plenty of time to keep racing on this simulator, seeing as though the Maple Leafs were knocked out last night by the Lightning, so no need to watch any more hockey the rest of the way. And I think the Panthers just got beat here tonight by those Lightning, so not looking good for the Panthers either, man. But before we let you go here and celebrate some more, and before we see you on Sunday at New Hampshire, I know you can basically just spend the week up there in the Northeast. Or you're already up there basically in Canada. Anybody that you wanted to shout out? You get this opportunity almost every week, but is there anybody that you wanted to shout out here tonight, or any sponsors you might have on the side of that race car?
I don't have them all in this car, since this is just one of the cars I've been making up. I'm working on a brand new one here soon that has all my sponsors on it, just to make sure they get their company out there. But yeah, I usually thank them all the time. So Guysborough Transfer, Badwater Mortgages, LBT Pallets, Timberley Beverage Room, A-Rod HVAC, Factory S Motorsports. Who else do we got? We got JDM Broadcasting, and you guys for putting this on.
Of course, Caden, and this has been quite the time here, Tim. I mean, we get to know Caden almost week in and week out here. We need to start asking him like those questions of what's your favorite color, what's your favorite movie, because I think we're kind of running out of questions to ask him.
I think we should start having dinner ready for him after the race.
We're getting to know him pretty good. We might have him up in the booth here once in a, I mean, just to broadcast some few races the time he spends up here with us.
It sounds great to me.
I mean, some dinner wouldn't sound too bad, but I mean, the time races are over, I think I might only need a snack, because usually they're over by 11 my time. Because right now it's 10:52, coming on 11. So I mean,
oh gosh,
it's a little late for a bit of dinner.
Oh my goodness, Caden. Well, we look forward to seeing what you have in store for the folks at home next week at New Hampshire. And then we head to, I believe it is Southern National in this series on Tuesday. I mean, maybe you can make a clean sweep next weekend. I know you had some competition on Sunday in the East Coast Modified Tour. I told Tim about how you came from multiple laps down to finish in the 6th position, and tonight you went wire to wire, so really back to your winning ways here in the modifieds, Caden, and look forward to seeing what you have in store here next week, and we want to appreciate you taking the time with us here.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Have a good night.
You as well, Caden, and congratulations on the big win.
Congratulations, Caden.
Thank you.
Man, that was Caden Tufts. I don't really know what to say, Tim. I mean, he lays it down every time he hits the track, and even the races that he doesn't finish one, I guess you could say, is his average finish. He gives it his all. He never gives up. He never loses composure. And I liked your question about asking him if he ever gets nervous on the simulator. And it's funny that he said the only time that he gets nervous is in real life, racing a real life car. On the simulator, he's just got this like kind of, not a whatever attitude, but like I got this kind of outlook.
Yeah, and I mean, of course he's calm. He's won 3 races, maybe more than that actually. I'm not sure. But the 3 that I have broadcast, he has been the winner each time. So, of course, he has no reason to be nervous. Be interested to see how the points settle up after this one, heading into next week, because Peeler had a lot of issues there at the end. I believe he blew an engine, so he finished near the back. So a big shakeup in points is probably going to happen.
Yeah, Tim, looking back, if I can remember correctly, he won about 4 weeks ago. We headed to the road course at Watkins Glen. Of course, he finished, I believe, in 2nd position or 3rd position in that, with Daniel Rowe winning by 26 seconds. The weekend after that, he had a clean sweep, winning the Sunday and Tuesday race. This weekend, he finishes, I believe it was either 2nd or 3rd or 6th position, on Sunday, and now back to winning here. So there's at least 4 wins in the past month or so in the modified. So really laying it down here at the short tracks.
He really is. It's just unbelievable. I just wonder who's going to be the one to take him off the top.
Gosh, I mean, it's going to take some craziness in that aspect, but it was definitely a crazy show here for the folks at home. We had just about 10 cautions, I believe. We hit that number, so it would have been a push bet if I was gambling. So wouldn't have hit the over-under or any aspect there. Would have been a push, but a lot of, again, heated rivalries, a lot of heated drivers coming out of tonight's event. And as Caden mentioned, none of that really gets to him as the guy who wins every week, but You know, he almost mentioned it. He didn't say it precisely, but almost saying that you have to take those instances with like a grain of salt, if you will. You have to come into it knowing it's a short track. You know, you're probably going to make contact with another car. You're probably going to get caught up with a guy who got loose. I mean, these things happen. You know, people check up in these small corners, make incidental contact with you, send you up into the wall, cause your night to be over.
Yep.
And it's just you got to take that into the next week, you know, not the heated aspect of it, but taking it into the following week, knowing, okay, so this happened this week, next week I'll do better. You know, it's almost like when I used to fail in math class, knowing that, you know, if I got a 40 on one test, maybe I can get a 50 the next week. So I mean, it's just something you got to take into perspective going into these races. But you know, with all of that that goes on behind Caden, whether it's single car accidents, multi car accidents, you know, changes behind him. You know, we saw Nathan Bryant run in the second position. We saw the third position change hands a few times. Jordan Tarble get caught up. Kenyon Jones get caught up. Jacob Torman get caught up. TJ Allen get caught up in some few incidences. Adam Peeler, as you said, caught up as well. It's all about focusing on who can take out Caden because nobody really has anything for him the past month or so, with the exception of Edward Marshall on Sunday night and Daniel Rowe at the road course. It's just he's the guy to beat, Tim. Also, Heatwave Designs. Heatwave Designs did hook us up as well to give us an opportunity for the decals and vector files on race cars going forward. So a lot of different people go into these broadcasts here, and we want to give them as much credit and as much shout outs as possible for helping design such an awesome broadcast that you folks see at home.
You know what? I just realized my microphone was not on when I said that, Will. So, again, for the viewers at home, I'm sorry. Want to give a huge shout out to designer Ishti over at Fiverr for making these great new overlays and graphics for us here at 10-4 Broadcasting. I believe he's watching tonight, so thanks a lot, man.
Of course, Tim, and we can't be reminisced without talking about those sponsors before we leave tonight.
Yep.
Admin Boxx. Oh, look, I got it right on the first go with the point. Admin Boxx up there in the corner. That's Admin Boxx with 2 X's. They create such an awesome device for admins and race control out there. You can make all your calls, add laps, change laps, yellow flags, green flags, everything that you need to do as a race control or an admin. You can do it from that device. It is the simplest device you can get out there for being a race controller admin. It's literally plug and play. You plug it into your computer, laptop, whatever you use for your iRacing setups, and you can do everything from this little device. No having to jump back and forth, everything like that. Go check them out at adminbox. It's 2x's.com. Mention this series, the Virtual Racing Association, or 10-4 Broadcast. Maybe they'll hook you up with a discount. I can't confirm that. Maybe just throw that name out there and see what they can do for you. And if you want some other awesome content on YouTube, if you are a hunter, if you live up in the Northeast somewhere or out west, I know there's not much hunting down here in Florida. We basically hunt alligators and skinny deer on here. But if you want some information about how you can get more tips and tricks on your hunts, or if you just want to see some awesome hunting content, go check out the Weekend Woodsman YouTube page. Oh, I got it wrong that time. There we go. Over here, right above my shoulder here, they have an awesome YouTube channel with a lot of different content on there. A lot of the stuff that you need to go out there and make the most out of your hunts, and hopefully you're hunting the right way out there and using all of that meat and everything that you hunt for the right way. But if you want more opportunities and more tricks on how to do that, go check them out at the Weekend Woodsman. They have plenty of playlists, plenty of content on there, Tim, and such an awesome thing that these two sponsors are involved with this brand new league here. We're only on race 5 of this brand new season. We already have 2 awesome sponsors on board.
Yeah, and I really appreciate them for coming on board, and really want to ask everybody to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and just be sure you're here again next week, 8:30, same time, Southern National Raceway, and it's going to be a great race.
Yes,
Speaking
sir.
of
And
next week, it's gonna be spicy.
Hello, Maddox.
Yes,
it's gonna be
we got
spicy.
it's gonna be spicy. Caden thinks he's gonna win next week. I don't know. A lot of these drivers were coming to me and said, "Hey, can we do something to give Caden some of a challenge?" And I know iRacing has a setup normally for this series, but next week it's going to be a different setup. So hopefully he can
Uh-oh.
dominate in a different
Interesting.
type of racing.
Look at that. Race control is coming at us with some different setups and some things to look out for next week, folks. And we're excited for that, Mike. And you joined me up in the booth with the East Coast Modified Tour, so we'll be interested to see if he can win at New Hampshire and basically just sweep the Northeastern tracks.
Yeah, we see him dominate every Sunday, almost every Sunday night. But Tuesday these drivers he came in said as a one-off, he was like, "Oh, I'm not doing anything, so let's just show up and see if we can run them." Ends up whopping the floor with them, and they come to me and they say, "Can we do something about this?" It's like we get it for Sunday. We don't need double the work.
Yeah, and we had 14 drivers in the field here tonight, so this field definitely grows every single week here in the Virtual Racing Association. So he's got plenty of competition that's stacking up behind him, but it's just nobody can catch him there in the top position.
Definitely, sure. I mean, this is a hard battle. I mean, there's going to be new rules in place, definitely for next week, as well as the race will have a fixed custom setup.
Man, we are looking forward to that, just like we are looking forward to Thursday evening, Tim. You'll be joining me up in the booth once again, I do believe, bringing you action out of the International Racing League
Yep.
there on Thursday nights. They do race Xfinity race cars on that, and last week's action was fantastic. We saw Hernandez just basically have his car, to use his words, on rails most of the race there at Auto Club, and looking forward to that action on Thursday night. That action kicks off at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then you can catch me and Mike Maddox here up in the booth bringing you play. Oh, nope. It's going to be you and Mike
Oh,
up in the booth
yeah.
at the Charlotte Roval and playoff race number 3.
Oh,
There are
no, I
only
hate the
2
Roval on
play-
iRacing.
I don't think the drivers are too excited about it either, but a lot on the line in that race, Tim, because we have had 2 different winners so far in the playoffs. So the championship's really up for grabs for anybody. And the regular season champion, Matthew Badby, who came into the playoffs with 5 wins on the season, has yet to win in the playoffs. So with only 2 races left in that series, with only 2 races to go in that series, it's really all on the line there at the Roval. That is on Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch Tim and Mike up in the booth for that. And on Saturday night, we are with the first playoff race of the season for the Powerhouse Racing League. That will start at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, be led by Mitchell Adams and Patrick Morrison. And then, as Mike mentioned, you can catch me and Mike Maddox up here in the booth on Sunday night, bringing you live action at the East Coast Modified Tour as me and Mike stay up here in the Northeast to bring you action out of New Hampshire in that series, Tim.
There's going to be a lot of great racing heading into this weekend for all the leagues that we do as we get ready for Memorial Weekend.
Yes, and that's going to be quite the special weekend for us here at 10-4 Broadcasting. We have a few different things planned there as tributes for those fallen heroes out there, as well as the veterans out there that race in a lot of these leagues. I believe a lot of these leagues are filled up with veterans and maybe friends that were unfortunately taken too soon in a lot of these conflicts, or just maybe struggled through what they saw on these things. So it's going to be a special weekend for not only us up here in the booth, but also the drivers and admins in some of these leagues that we call. So we want to make the most out of that weekend. And we have some special things planned for that weekend as well across all the leagues. But Tim, I believe it is time to wrap it up here from South Boston. And again, it was the Caden Tough show here tonight. There was nothing tough about it as he went wire to wire here from South Boston. And we hope everybody at home enjoyed the show here tonight from 10-4 Broadcasting. Again, you can go check us out on YouTube, Facebook, as well as Twitch. It's 10-4 Broadcasting on there. Should be the first thing that pops up once you search that. And we want to wish everybody the great rest of your week here, and we'll catch everybody here on Thursday night.
Have a great rest of the week.